Hello, Heights Church. My name is Toyin Ajirotutu, and I'm the Facilities Assistant here at Heights Church. Today, we'll be continuing our series in Better Together. Our topic today is we encourage each other. The verses that I want to share with you today are Hebrews 10, verses 24 and 25. And they say, "Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. And let us not neglect our meeting together, as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his return is drawing near." So with that in mind, I just love how verse 24 starts out with, let us think of ways, right? Let us think of ways. I love it because it says to me that encouragement doesn't have to be random or spontaneous, but intentional and thoughtful. I don't know how many times I've said something that sounded encouraging in my head, but when I said it out loud, it doesn't sound very encouraging. But if I was intentional and I truly thought about what I wanted to say to encourage another person, I know it could be better received and actually be uplifting to the other person. And then the verse goes on to say, motivate one another to acts of love and good works. Because I want my encouragement to matter, because I know that even the smallest amount of encouragement can change lives. For example, it changed my life. After I went through my first life group session, my leader invited us over for a barbecue and to swim in his house. And another member of the group had two daughters, and so she brought them along to the barbecue. And I guess I interacted with the children well, because the following Sunday, my leader told me that he watched me interact with the children, and he was impressed, and he thought that I had talents with working with children. And so he strongly encouraged me to join children's ministry. Now, I was hesitant because I never interacted with children on a regular basis throughout my life. So I didn't think I could do it, but he truly encouraged me and gave me the confidence to step in to serving. And as a result, it changed my life. God led me down a path, and the first step was joining children's ministry. And then he led me to another path, and which eventually changed my life. So I want to encourage you to be intentional with your encouragement, and to be intentional of the people who are in your life that you can encourage. Find things that are worthy of encouragement in others, and think of the best way that you can communicate that encouragement to the other person. And if you don't know, ask God. Ask him for who you can encourage, and ask him for what you can communicate, the best way you can communicate that encouragement to that person. So let's look at verses 25. And it says that, let us not neglect our meeting time. And that's just neglect is just a strong word to use. Oxford Dictionary says that neglect is a failure to care for properly. So the verse is saying, let us not fail to care for properly our meeting together. And I urge you to consider this for yourselves, what that means, because as Christians, meeting together is vital. Alone, it's easy to get distracted by our busy schedules, our worries, our insecurities, our fears. But when we're in community with one another, it's easier to keep our eyes focused on Jesus and to encourage the people in our groups and our neighbors to do likewise. I can't tell you how many times I've received hope and encouragement just from hearing members of my life group share about their own struggles and triumphs, or hearing their insights and their knowledge about how God is revealing himself to them, or what they've learned in their walk with him. For example, this past week in life group, one member of my life group shared that what Christ has revealed to him is that no matter what people do or say, they can't make him angry. He said that it's something inside of us that we choose to allow ourselves to become angry. And that insight really just struck a chord with me. And little did I know that I needed that insight, that that, the rest of the week, there would just be challenge upon challenge upon challenge with people, with situations. And I needed that insight. I needed that piece of knowledge in order to get through it. Every time that I felt I should be angry, or I felt my anger rising, God would remind me of what this group member said, and then I was able to choose to let go of my anger and not to let the situations continue to anger me, right? And this kept happening again and again and again. and so it really blessed me, because instead of going down the path of anger, I got to continue to walk down a Christ-centered perspective. And so it was just a major blessing to me. Again, the life group member was just answering a question with no idea that what he said would be vital for me to turn a difficult week of frustration into a week of triumph. And that's what we get to do in our life groups. We get to encourage one another by what we say and by what we do. Because I had no idea how my week would have turned out if not for this encouragement that this person shared. So I just challenge you guys to ask God who in your life you can encourage. And I ask you to really not neglect our meeting time. All right, church, that's all I have for you. Hope you have a great week, and I will see you next time.